So I'd say the biggest impact of post-retirement benefits for someone 65 or older is that if they're already maxed out, if they're already going to get a full pie, then post-retirement benefits are a way to earn more than the maximum CPP.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Steadyhand's Coffee Break video series, where we share insights to help Canadians build and protect your wealth with confidence. Now today we're exploring an important question for Canadians aged 65 and older who are still working, and that is, should you continue contributing to the Canada Pension Plan? Now joining me today is Jason Yee, Certified Financial Analyst and CPP expert. Jason will help us weigh the pros and cons and provide some practical advice on CPP post 65. Welcome back, Jason.
It's always a pleasure chatting with you, David.
Now for me, Jason, this is personal. I turned 65 last year and I'm still working, and I've decided to wait until I turn 70 to take my CPP benefits. So I believe I have a big decision to make, and it could be a big one. It's my understanding that I may now be able to opt out of contributing to CPP. In other words, I don't have to keep contributing for the next 5 years. So I can keep the $4,000, roughly the maximum contribution level. I can keep that to myself. I don't have to have it deducted from my pay anymore. Or I can choose to keep handing it over to CPP to invest it on my behalf. Have I got that right?
Things do change at age 65. More options do become available, but in order to opt out of continuing to contribute into the CPP, you have to have already started taking the regular CPP retirement pension. So if you start receiving CPP and you're working, at that point you can opt out of continuing contributions. But if you have not started CPP, you must continue to contribute until you start. So in your case, if you're planning on deferring to age 70, you would have to continue contributing up to age 70.
Okay. So for me, then, what would the main benefits be to keep contributing to CPP after age 65, even though it's not an option for me anymore?
So before I answer that, I'm just going to remind people that CPP now has 3 parts. And each of these 3 parts needs to be calculated individually. So how you look at the benefit changes a little bit because of the enhanced CPP. But starting with the base CPP, or the original program, there are 2 main benefits to contributing into CPP after age 65. So you can think of a pie or a pie chart to understand them. So number 1, you can get more pie. If you haven't already maxed out your CPP, your contributions to CPP after age 65 might get you a bigger slice of the pie, or possibly even get you the full pie. So this is effectively extra general dropout capacity if you need it. If your post age 65 earnings happen to be larger than pre-65 earnings, and you don't have regular dropout capacity from the regular 70% general dropout, those contributions after age 65 can replace those lower contributions and boost, like I said, the amount of pie you get, or potentially get you up to maxing out your CPP. Number 2, if you haven't started CPP yet, the pie will grow. And so you'll get a bigger piece of the pie because of the age adjustment factors. Every month you wait to start CPP up to age 70 grows the pie a little bit more. So for the enhanced CPP, you're going to get full value for your contributions after age 65. So this is because the enhanced CPP takes your best 40 years. Everyone starts with an empty pie, and we'll be adding to it with each new contribution. Another thing is that the enhanced CPP is also more efficient than the base CPP from an earnings replacement point of view. And I can come back to that and talk about that in a moment.
Okay, so I had it wrong, but I think probably a lot of people have it wrong. So thanks for that explanation. Now, another thing that is probably on a lot of people's minds is this whole concept of the post-retirement benefit. Can you explain it? How does it work? How does it benefit us?
So a post-retirement benefit is earned when someone has already started their regular CPP retirement pension, and they also continue to earn a salary, or pensionable earnings in CPP jargon. So you can think of a post-retirement benefit as a mini CPP that's based on one single calendar year rather than your entire working life. So post-retirement benefits are earned one calendar year at a time. So for example, let's assume you've started your regular CPP retirement pension and you're continuing to work. Your CPP contributions made for this year's work in 2025 will result in you earning a post-retirement benefit that will begin to pay out effective January of next year in 2026. This post-retirement benefit that was earned from work in 2025 and will begin paying out in 2026 will also increase each year for inflation starting in 2027 and carrying on, and will also increase for price inflation every year. So if you continue to work in 2026, the same process happens again for each new calendar year up to age 70. So you have the potential to earn post-retirement benefits technically from anywhere from age 60 to age 70, but it requires that you've started your CPP retirement pension and you're also working. So I'd say the biggest impact of post-retirement benefits for someone 65 or older is that if they're already maxed out, if they're already going to get a full pie, then post-retirement benefits are a way to earn more than the maximum CPP. And so an important consideration with that, however, is that by starting CPP, you'd also be adding to your taxable income.
It feels like the benefits are all stacked in favor of somebody starting to take CPP, keep working, and keep contributing. Have I oversimplified that?
So overall, we want to get an idea of what the net lifetime benefit will be compared to the cost. So the sort of factors that you should consider in making that decision are income taxes, because in deciding to start CPP and also work, you're adding to your overall taxable income. So that plays into that calculation. The enhanced CPP also made things a little bit more complicated because someone might be maxed out on their base CPP, but they will be getting the benefit of the enhanced CPP, because right now, every contribution you make into the enhanced CPP is going to earn you something. It's not like anyone is at risk of maxing out, because it always takes the best 40 years, and everyone in the enhanced CPP started in 2029. Everyone's got 40 years starting from that point. So you'll get full benefit of all your enhanced CPP contributions. Now, the enhanced CPP is also more efficient from an earnings replacement point of view. So the base CPP was designed to replace 25% of your lifetime average earnings. You pay 4.95%, so roughly 5% for that 25% replacement. So you can think of that as 5% replacement for every 1% of earnings, of contributions put in. The enhanced CPP is more efficient. You get 8.33% of earnings replacement for every 1% of contribution.
And how is it that you've got that additional leverage? Why didn't the government just go back, or maybe the CPP organization just go back and restructure the whole thing?
That I'm not sure. I'm not sure how. Well, they would have picked their contribution rates for long-term sustainability. And because the enhanced CPP is not a pay-as-you-go model, it's the contribution. More benefits are going to come from investment income for the enhanced CPP relative to the base. So I believe that's one of the reasons why you get more earnings replacement efficiency per percentage of contribution for the enhanced. So another factor to consider is longevity, because we want to look at lifetime amount. We often look at lifetime CPP collected and what that trade-off looks like. So for individuals that have a legitimate reason to expect that their longevity might be diminished, it makes sense in that case to start CPP early, which would put you in a situation where if you were to continue working, you'll be earning post-retirement benefits rather than delaying, potentially all the way to the maximum at age 70.
In many circumstances, it makes sense for somebody who's north of 65, still working, and has started to draw from their CPP benefits to keep contributing. Partly is you get a matching contribution from your employer, which is nice. But what if you're self-employed? Does the analysis change if you have to pay as the self-employed contractor both your contribution as well as your employer contribution?
Yeah, the analysis definitely changes because in that case, the individual is paying more themselves in the form of contributions because they're paying both the employee portion and the employer portion. So it definitely changes that the numbers for that cost benefit analysis. The thing to remember there, though, is the employer's portion is still eligible for the tax deductions, even though it's being paid by the individual in this case. So that's something to remember for the enhanced CPP components when doing that kind of analysis. They still would get the deduction, and the value of the deduction would depend on total income, marginal tax rate of the individual.
Okay. So you mentioned a little bit about tax. Are there any tax implications to us for continuing to contribute to CPP after the age of 65?
So all your contributions have some kind of tax treatment. And so for the base CPP, those contributions earn you a tax credit. And for both parts of the enhanced CPP, those contributions provide a tax deduction. So the value of that tax deduction it depends on your overall taxable income, your marginal tax rate. So for people that do, for example, internal rate of return calculations, to properly do those calculations, you should also be considering also the value of the tax credit and the tax deduction for your personal situation.
Sort of wrapping up, as you think about your practice of helping Canadians consider their options around CPP, what advice do you give your clients who are really unsure at this age and stage of 65 and above whether they should keep contributing or not?
So there's two main pieces of advice that are really general and applicable to everyone. And so the first is CPP has very unique features that other sources of income just don't have. Money from CPP is guaranteed, lasts till you die, and CPP provides inflation protection. So I really encourage people to use the CPP for what it is excellent at. And that's mitigating against, it's using those features and mitigating those risks. The second sort of general advice is make CPP decisions based on a complete plan that looks at your entire all your retirement income sources, rather than the CPP in isolation. So beyond that, the advice becomes very personal. So some people only want to recover their contributions, the amount that they put in, as fast as they can. So for people with that preference, the analysis for the cost-benefit trade-offs looks a little bit different compared to, say, individuals who are trying to design a coordinated retirement income plan that considers all their sources of income, not just CPP alone. So tolerance for lifestyle risks is an important consideration. People that want to get the most out of those risk reduction properties that CPP has, they'll value the contributions a lot differently than someone that just wants to recover their contributions as quickly as possible.
Perfect. Well, Jason, thank you for your insights on CPP in this somewhat technical matter. And it's interesting that I went into this thinking that I did have a decision to make, but in fact, I don't. I will keep contributing to CPP because I'm not interested in taking it until I turn 70. Is that still a fair decision on my part?
Yeah, I would agree. I think there's definitely a lot of reasons that could be a good decision for your situation. Ultimately the numbers will tell, but especially with the enhanced CPP, it really boosts what individuals can receive. And so even for people that are maxed out or near maxed out on the base CPP, there's still benefit that they can achieve through the enhanced CPP component.
And thank you for watching this video. I encourage you to join us in this conversation by adding your comments below. And if you want more information specific about this topic or about your needs in particular, I encourage you to reach out to an advice-only financial planner or our team at Steadyhand, who can help guide you to a successful investment plan and retirement income. Links to both resources are available in the notes below. And don't forget to subscribe to the Steadyhand YouTube channel so that you can be made aware of new videos as soon as they are posted. Jason, thank you again, and bye for now.